Hey lovies, welcome to my channel, Craft Away with May. I'm May. Welcome to my old and new subbies. I'm so glad to have you all here with me today. We are going to be using some Dollar Tree rub-on transfer as well as some transfers I got off of Amazon that I had in my stash. I'm anxious to use. And like I told you guys, we are going to be doing some blue fall crafts or DIYs, whatever you want to call them. And I am so excited about these because they are such beautiful transfers and it's such an easy way to amp up any project that you're working on. So we're going to start first with this large pumpkin I picked up from Hobby Lobby. It was in my stash. The original price of it is $4.99, which I personally don't think that is expensive, but of course I got it. I think it was like 70% off. So win-win for me. And then I'm gonna take this sheet of rub-on transfers that I got off of Amazon. Sorry guys. That I got off of Amazon, and I am just gonna trace it out right in the center of the pumpkin. Now I didn't center it perfectly, but it's okay because that's the main way. So once I get this outlined, I'm pretty sure I probably took you guys all through all of that because y'all know how it goes. This is just what we do on this channel. So I get that traced out, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start painting it. I am going to paint this in the color Burnt Umber for the peduncle. And then I'm going to jump ahead because let's wait. I'm going to do some more. I'm just going to line this off just to give me an idea of where I need to stop that paint because y'all know me. I'll just keep going if there's nobody here to stop me. So I figured I put the little pencil line there. That would help me stay focused and stay within the lines. But before I start painting that, I'm just going to take a piece of painter's tape and I am going to tape that jute twine down. Now, I could have totally just cut it off and then replaced it once I was done, but the lazy part of me is like, just tape it down, girl, and let's roll with it. So that's what I did. And like I said, I'm going to go in with some of this burnt umber paint. I'm just going to give it one coat. I don't think it needed anything more than that because I wanted to look kind of rustic, not too much, but I didn't want it too dark. So then next I'm going in with this FolkArt paint color called Echo Blue. I really love this blue color and it matched those pumpkins perfectly. So it was just like the perfect color. I had in my stash for y'all. I got so much paint, it's ridiculous. Y'all would think I was painting something every day. I do not. But I have a lot of paint. So in the middle, I put some of this FolkArt, I think that's a wicker white by FolkArt. And as you can see, I did a heavy coat in the middle, and then I did some distressing out around that white spot, the middle section there. And you guys will see why I did that because I want the transfer to kind of look like it's popping through. We're gonna do a play on the busted canvas. You know, that was all the rave last year doing the busted canvas, and so I was like, you know what? I have these leftover canvases from some other projects that was just sitting at the top of my closet, and I was like, let me just see if I can make this look like a busted canvas pumpkin. Not canvas, you know, kind of sort of canvas. Let me just see if I can make the pumpkin look busted. There we go. So I painted that canvas in the color navy blue. I forget the paint. It's the Hobby Lobby brand paint. But again, it tied in perfectly with the color of these pumpkins. So I just painted that in the navy blue. Then I'm going to pull this transfer back. Now, if you are not familiar with how transfers work, you literally just remove it from its backing and you transfer it over to the surface where you want to apply it. Now, you can apply transfers on furniture, mirrors, glass, plastic, whatever, wood. obviously. So many things, and I just love working with them because it just, if you're not a painter or artist like I am, even though I have so much paint, this is just a way to bring some projects to life. So right here, guys, I'm going to tell you the shenanigans. They have to be here with me. Like, I think the shenanigans is just like my inner spirit. I don't know what it is, but the shenanigans just do not leave me. Okay. So right here, I put the transfer sheet down, guys, and I forgot to pull the top part off. But I'm just going along my merry way here. So right here, I'm taking that canvas and I'm just laying it out. Now, I did get some of that Echo Blue paint on the canvas because it started to curl up as I was painting it. But I'm not too concerned about that because, as you know, when you're doing the whole busted canvas effect, you roll the canvas back. So I'm going to do that so it won't be visible, but I am going to take some paint and touch it up as well. So I'm not overly concerned about that part. But what I'm doing here is just stretching it out and tacking it down to the back of the pumpkin, and then we're just going to open it up just like that. And I was like, this is so cute. Now, I was going to just roll it back, leave it whole as it is, and roll it back, but it wasn't giving me busted canvas vibes. It was like, at this point, it literally looked like the pumpkins were on a beach. Like, that's what I saw. I was like, oh, that's kind of pretty, but that's not what I'm going for. Looked like it was on just some sand or something. I don't know why it looked that way to me, but it did. But anyway, so here, I guess, this is where I was thinking about it. Like, do I want to leave it that way? And I was like, okay, once I cut this, there's no going back. So I said a little prayer and I cut it, and it worked out. It gave me the vibe I was going for. Now, as I was doing this, I was contemplating whether or not I should add some more canvas to the bottom of this, but I didn't want to do that. Like, I wanted that, I wanted the busted canvas look, but I didn't want it to be full on like that. Like, I wanted you guys to see the distressing, the full cover, all the pumpkins and the colors and things like that. So I just decided to go with the two pieces I had here and tack those down, like I said, and it gave me what I was looking for. And I really love the way this came out. I love the colors. Again, it's just something about adding blue into fall decor for me that I think is just so pretty. And so I'm thinking I'm going to hang this on my guest room door because that room kind of is, it's the blue room. It's not really it's just this paint, this color, oh my goodness, the colors in this project really matches that room. So I think I'm going to hang it on that door. At first I was wondering if, going back and forth, should I hang it on the front door? But I think it's going to go on the guest room door. I really like it. I don't know. I love blue for fall. I think it's really pretty. We don't use it enough. So once I get those tacked down, like I said, I'm going to just go in right here and touch up those spots where you could see that that the paint had got on the canvas. And then also on the side of the pumpkin, you could still see a little bit of that the wood part of it. So I want to cover that up as well. So right here, I'm going in with one of these, a fall sunflower. Nope, that's not a sun. Yes, it is. Fall, I was going to call it a daisy, a fall sunflower. And then I'm going to take some of these maple leaves. I did get these from Hobby Lobby, but all of these were in my stash. So I'm just going to tuck those on the side. Again, I want to bring that more color to that blue, and I just felt like this would just even bring the sunflowers that's in the transfer, would bring it to life by doing this. So I literally just used a little bit of hot glue and put that on underneath there, and I probably should have stopped right here, but there is the but. I pulled out one of my Kathy Jo bows and I wanted to put it on here, and I tacked it on the bottom at first, but you're going to see later that I remove it. So right here is where I finally remembered, like, hello, girlfriend, you did not pull up that top layer. So I was a little concerned that maybe I had got some glue on it and it wouldn't come up, but actually I didn't. And so just with a little rub. Now, the other thing with the rub-on transfers, if you have paint, you don't put any like a Mod Podge over it, you will run that chance of it pulling up the paint, which it did, and that was okay. It tied into the distressing of the piece. So, but some of the transfer is super sticky. These I get off of Amazon. I've been using them for quite a few years, and they're more like a sticker than rub-on transfers, but they apply like rub-on transfers. But anyway, they have a super sticky adhesive backing, and it will tack on really fast and it will pull up from your project. But I added in some half beads there. You guys will see more of that in the final reveal. If you've been with me any time, you guys know I love to show everything all at once at the end of the video. Now, while we're going into this next project, I did also pick this this little hanging piece I got from Michael's. It was 90% off when I got it, and I have like 3 of them in my stash, and I've just never known what to do with them. Now, they do have a little acrylic glass right in the middle of them, and I chose to go with some of my mossy green paint and then some of my autumn color paint. Now, in my mind, the colors worked. They scream fall, which they still do, but it was just something about this project, and I think it was just the overall wood frame of it that I just wasn't vibing with. I don't know. It was just something like, I don't know, it's not giving me fall, but there's fall in there somewhere. I don't know how to explain it. But it was not what I envisioned. It just yeah, I couldn't make it come to life how I saw it. So next I'm just going in with some of these Dollar Tree rub-on transfers. I love these. They were gifted to me. I can't remember who it would either be from my good friend Ro over at Craftacular, or it may come from Jenny, which I think a little bit of them all came from each, or also Kathy Jo had sent me some from Kathy Jo DIY. So I think they're just kind of all jumbled in together. But I never got these at my store, and they were gracious enough to share with me. So I've had them for a couple years now, and I try to use them every fall season because, you know, I don't want to just hoard them, but you know, I just applied them on that little acrylic glass that's in the middle of there. And that's almost it for this project. I'm going to take another one of my Kathy Jo bows, and I'm going to add that right to the top. Now, this color of the bow, it did tie in very well with this project. It's just something about this framing. I think it's the 3 layers of the frame, like, that's throwing me off. I think if it was just 1 or 2 instead of 3, maybe that would work. I don't know, y'all. There's something that's about this was throwing me off. I distressed the green part of it with the autumn color paint, and it just wasn't coming to life for me. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our next project. I think this is project number, is this 3? I'm trying to think, y'all. I think this is project number 3. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Let's find out together. All right, so I'm taking this 12-inch size wooden mason jar. I had this in my stash too for years, and I just paint that in some chocolate color paint. I stained it in burnt umber. I just watered that down, and I'm going to go in and add in what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take some of my braided jute twine. I think at first I was going to put holes in it and hang it that way, but I changed my mind. So okay, so I'm all over the place right now, so it's like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so next I'm going to take another one of the rub-on transfers. I really love this one, guys. Y'all gotta tell me, why don't we like the little farmhouse truck anymore? I know the little red farmhouse truck played out, everybody did it, but why don't we like the little farmhouse truck? Like, I think those are so cute. We need to make a comeback of those. Like, why did we turn against them? I don't know. I like them. And I really like this one with the pumpkins on the back, and it says farmer's market on there. I think this is super, super cute. Absolutely love. Love it. And one thing I will say about these transfers, typically I'm not a super shiny girl, like, because the rub-on transfers, these particular ones tend to be a little bit shiny. But the shiny worked for each of the projects today. And I was really happy about that. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm looking at it, with a different eye. I don't know if somebody plucked my eye out, put a different one in. But the shiny worked with each of the projects today. And I love that. So here I'm taking some of my braided jute twine. I'm tying that off around the middle section there, or the lid, to separate the two. And then I'm just going to go in and add a piece of jute twine to the back for a hanger in the event that I want to hang this. But I think I might just leave it as a leaner. But nonetheless, it does, nobody will see that because y'all know the rule. But so I just put that on there just in case I decide to, like I said, hang it somewhere. And then I'm going to take another one of my Kathy Joe bows, and I'm just going to clip the tails down. I think I just cut them at an angle. I don't think I dovetail them now. Yeah, I just cut them at an angle. Now, what I decided to do with this bow is turn it upside down. Now, ask me why I did that. I don't know. I think what it was is that it was the tails were gonna cover the lettering, but I didn't want to cut off the tails. So I was like, well, let's just turn it upside down. What's wrong with that? It's gonna still look cute. It's gonna still look cute, which it did. So then I'm taking some of this little mini like fall pick that I had in my stash I got from Michael's, and I'm just cutting it down and I'm tucking that right underneath that bow. And guys, this was so pretty. I love this. I really, really, really love this. All the projects today were super cute, with the exception of the one before this one. Like I said, that one just was not, it just wasn't working for me. So, but it still came out okay. But and I may have to just go back and paint it all one color. I think that might be the problem. Like it just needs to be one solid color. But anyway, this project is all said and done. I think, oh, nope. I'm going to take some more of that little mini pick there. I'm not sure what that is called. I don't know if that's cat's tails, pompous. I don't know what those are called. It wasn't on there, but I'm just cutting them down a little bit. And there's a little bitty crate on the back of that farmhouse truck. And I thought it would be so cute to cut these down and put little pieces of them on top of that crate to look like they're just kind of, give it the 3D effect. I don't know. I was just trying to amp it up. And I love the fact, guys, as the thumbnail showed, showed that all of these projects literally could be done within 10 minutes. And I will say that's excluding the dry time for painting. Now, if you let it dry naturally, of course, it's going to take a little bit longer than 10 minutes. But if you use your heating tool, you can dry this in literally like 5 minutes or less and move on to your projects, because you are just literally using the rub-on transfers and then adding in your embellishments. So if you have everything laid out and ready to go, you literally can do this in like 10 minutes, each of these projects. Even the big pumpkin one, I was like, I was thinking about it. I was like, can you really do that? And I kind of went back and looked at it. Aside from, like I said, if you have everything laid out and you know what you want to do, which I sometimes just don't, it will move really fast. Again, the painting is generally what may take a little bit longer, but the assembly piece will take you about 10 minutes to get done. And like I said, even with the big pumpkin, with me using my drying tool, it did take just a hair over 10 minutes to put together. So here we go. Next, we're going to go in with this little metal envelope that I found at at Dollar Tree. And it was just in a random place. Even before they put out the autumn stuff or fall stuff, it was just in a random place, and I saw it and I thought how cute it was. And I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with it. And so I pulled it out, and right here I'm taking some more of that braided jute twine, and I'm just putting over the top because the backing to it is MDF and only the front part of it is the metal part. And so at first I was going to paint over the little autumn all the little autumn scenery there. And I was like, you know what? No, this kind of ties into the colors that I'm working with today, the blue and our traditional fall colors. And so I decided to leave it like it is. Now it wasn't on there perfect, as you guys know, with Dollar Tree stuff. They never really put it on there. They just kind of, put a little something on it and slap it onto its surface. But I made it work, and that was part of the reason I used the braided jute twine here. Now I'm gonna take some of the smaller little pictures on these rub-on transfers that I got off of Amazon. Now I can't remember which ones they were, where I got them from, but I just know they were on Amazon. If you do a search for fall, you'll find them. If it comes to me, if I can remember, if I can find it, I'll put it in the link. But guys, some of this stuff I've just had for so long. I know I say that almost every video with my stuff that I use. It just really has, been in my stash forever. And so I just take that those little pieces and cover that metal part there. And then I'm going to take some more of that little mini pick that I used in the previous project, and I'm going to stuff a couple pieces down in the envelope. And I thought this was super cute. Again, those traditional colors, you can't beat them. I love it all. I just love fall. I know. Y'all gonna hear me say it a lot of times. I love fall. I do. So then I'm going in with yet another Kathy Jobo. Put that right up at the top. Now right here I have put some half beads on the side of this, and it just looked really weird. So I took those off, and I decided to add some maple leaves to the back of this. Now it did give it a bit of a turkey vibe. But look beyond that, lovies. Look beyond that and see the beauty in it. If you happen to see a turkey, gobble gobble. If not, happy fall. But that's it for this project, and we're going to jump into our final project of today, which is project number 5. I was so excited that I was able to do 5 things for you guys today, and I'm just going to cut out a piece of one of these other transfers. Okay, and I painted this little cutting board, this miniature cutting board or cheese board or bread board, whatever it is, in that same echo blue color. And I thought this little crate right here with these pumpkins in it was just gorgeous. Like, I love these rub-on transfers. So I'm going to pull that topping off of there. It goes on perfectly. And again, the shine in these are working for me in this video. And I'm not just saying that. I don't know why. Normally, I'm just like, oh, I should dull it down a little bit. Put some of my, that soft touch finish on it. And that will usually mute it, mute that shine. But I was liking it. I was digging it, y'all. So here I'm going in with some jute twine, wrapping that around the neck of this little cutting board here. I did add in some, a little saying that says crisp days are for fall, something like that. I can't read it, y'all. Y'all know I can't see. It says something cute, but anyway, I'm wrapping that jute twine around. Nothing special about it, but just to add a little rustic touch to it. It says crisp days of fall. I think that's what it says, y'all. I could be totally wrong, but I know about the crisp and I know about the fall. Other 2 words I can't see. Okay. Anyway, so here I'm taking some jute twine, wrapping it around my fingers a few times. I don't know how many times I wrapped it around there, but I just wrapped it around there until I stopped wrapping it around there. Then I'm going to tie it off and just make kind of it is going to be a jute twine bow. It's not the best bow in the world, but it's a May bow, and it serves its purpose on here. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna roll with it. It took me about forever and a day to get it tied off here. Now if we want to take some time off for me tying up this bow, we'll take off a minute, okay? Because the girl was struggling. Why can't I get a bow? I just can't get the concept of doing a bow. All right, so we made it work. We got it on there. It's pitiful, but hey, it's serving its purpose. And right here, I'm adding a little hanger on here, again, in case I want to hang this, or if I decide to leave it as a leaner, it can still hang over and it will look super cute. Now here we are with the final reveal, lovies, and I know no terracotta teacup today, guys. I needed a little break from them because we're getting ready, you know, some more coming out. We did number 30. I will have number 30 at the end of this video. If you guys didn't get to catch it in the last video, I will have that for you guys so you can see it. I was super excited about that. But they will come back. Don't worry, guys. We are on the road to 50. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. We are on the road to 50 terracotta teacups. All right. But if you guys are still here riding with me, thank you so much, Lovies. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I love it. I love it. I love it that you guys come back each week, sometimes twice a week, to hang out with your girl. If you had a favorite of today, Lovies, I want to hear about it. So make sure you have subscribed. You have subscribed, you've liked, and make sure you leave me a comment because you guys know how much I love to chat with you guys after each and every video. So make sure you do that. And like I said, if you have a favorite, let me know. I want to hear about it. Now to all our new visitors here, I mentioned the terracotta teacups. What it is that I have been doing a series on my channel where I take a terracotta pot and I turn it into a terracotta teacup with a theme. And so for every video, we've done 30 videos, 30 terracotta teacups, and I run a complete series of them. I've ran a complete series of them, and I generally will show them at the end of each video. However, I didn't upload it on this one, but if you want to see them, you can pretty much go back to any of the videos and you will see what we created at the end of each of those videos. So you'll see what I'm talking about when we get to the end of this one, what it is and what we did on our previous video. I know that's a lot to unfold, but we made a maple tree out of a terracotta cup, and I think it came out cute. And you know, stick around because hopefully, I do believe on Monday's video, I'll be back on Monday for the Just Our Imagination, and in that one I will be doing it. I just don't know if I'll be able to turn it into a cup though, but I'm working on that. So until the next video, Lovies, be safe, be kind, hugs and kisses, XOXO, bye.